Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. It's Jerry Miller. It's good to be with you on a Tuesday across the I Love CVille network. We have a phenomenal program in store for you here. We are going to spotlight two entrepreneurs that have undoubtedly made Charlottesville, Central Virginia, Albemarle County a better place. Susan and Ted Anderson of Anderson's Catering. Absolutely phenomenal people.
Thank you, Jerry.
I'm so excited to welcome you guys to the show, and we will do so in a matter of moments. I think this family and this brand epitomizes everything we stand for at I Love CVille. Locally owned, fantastic qualities and standards, hard work, sweat equity, vision, the willingness to think outside the box. Customer first, always putting customer first in everything they do. Willing to go the extra mile to keep people happy. And I think these are the type of businesses, locally owned businesses, that without question we try to highlight because they are the fabric of our community and make the community a better place. We will get to Susan and Ted Anderson shortly. Before we do, let's give some love to some of the people that make the program possible. First, let's talk about Intrastate Pest and Service Companies, another business that embodies the qualities that I just said. Guys, let me tell you very quickly their story. In 1969, the first generation of this company, it's now a four-generation business, but in 1969, the first generation had one truck and one man, and that was Mr. Wells. He would go to his first customer and service them from home services or pest control. Then he would head to a phone booth, and he would call his second customer from a phone booth in Charlottesville in Central Virginia and say, "May I come see you now?" Today, it's four generations strong. The headquarters right around the corner from Bodo's Bagels on Harris, an office in the Shenandoah Valley, an office in Richmond, and a Commonwealth-wide footprint. We are so proud to be Intrastate Pest and Service Company's advertising agency of record. This business I've seen firsthand make the community a better place. Same with Dr. Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Dr. Wagner, through physical therapy, chiropractic care, or sports medicine, is changing people's lives. We've seen this business grow and boom and blossom. Now their headquarters in the old Quinn Farmer auction house. They are crushing it. Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Harris Tolber, Judah Wickhauer, and Lauren Linsky helped make the show possible. Harris Tolber is our director. He is going to be worked into this program here in a matter of moments. I would like you guys to give the show a like and a share on Facebook on any stream that you're watching. And I would also ask you guys to put questions or comments or positive feedback for Susan and Ted in whatever comment section you're watching. And I'm happy to relay it to the Andersons. And it's already happening from Chris Winter, from Davina Jackson, from Carol, from Carrie, from Tim Ryan, from Chris Turner, from folks across Richmond to Crozet and Central Virginia. I'm going to get to it in a matter of moments. I think Harris Tolber will go to the studio cam, and we're going to welcome Ted Anderson to the show.
Hey, Jerry.
Susan Anderson to the show.
Hey, Jerry.
Thank you for coming on the program.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys
Glad to be here.
rock. I love everything about your brand and what you stand for. Before we talk about the evolution of the business, we kind of throw this question out there. What's your, kind of the birth story? And the birth story is like, you about Charlottesville, how long you've been in the community, the passions, the interests that you have in the community, what you like to do, what you love about CVille. So I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to throw it to you as well. In fact, you know what? Ladies first.
Okay.
Ladies first. Susan, what you love about the community, what you love about Charlottesville, your passions, your interests, who are you as a person?
Food. All about the good food in Charlottesville, the amazing restaurants that we have owned locally here with the fantastic chefs. Been lucky enough to work for a couple of them in my past, and still love to go out and eat in some of these places. I haven't even tried them all yet. Great place to raise our kids, Charlottesville. We were a soccer family when our children were younger, so we were all over town, all the beautiful fields here in this town. Great sense of community here. My children have been blessed to grow up in Albemarle County and Charlottesville.
I love it. I love it. Talk about the restaurants. You mentioned the restaurants here. The restaurants you've worked, the chefs you worked alongside, the restaurants you love to visit.
Oh, goodness.
The IVN. The IVN.
Angelo's the man.
We love Angelo.
Yeah.
Angelo taught me some of the things that I cook for my family, which are their favorites, and still to this day, those are the things that my kids ask for when they come home for a meal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's turn that into a sizzle reel with my first question all the way through her answer there. We'll get Ted here into a sizzle reel, and the show's blowing up. You got Jody. You're going to have to help me with this last name. Placencia?
Pleasance.
Pleasance? Is it Pleasance? I feel like I could read Pleasance.
I'm thinking
Jody
Pleasance.
right there. I mean, you see her on the bottom. She's giving you some props. Give it a like and a share, and we'll relay it to the Andersons. Who's Ted Anderson? Passions, hobbies, interests.
Well, I also love Charlottesville. I love raising a family here. I think the greatest accomplishment is raising my 3 kids.
Love that answer.
Without a doubt. I love being a father. I love being a soccer coach. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about seafood and catering and being out with the public and seeing my friends, meeting new friends. That's what keeps me going. I love it. I love it.
I love it. Talk to me about the restaurants. Talk to me about the seafood. Talk to me about before we get into the business. Okay, I want to get to know you a little bit more.
Okay.
The aspects of Charlottesville you love. You mentioned the IVN. Angelo's the man. We love Angelo on this show as well. Other aspects of Charlottesville, the community that you love.
Oh my gosh, the mountains, the beauty that surrounds Charlottesville, the wineries. I love the wineries. So proud of how well they're doing, and they're so much fun to go to. The Foxfield races. I mean, Charlottesville rocks. It's the bomb. It's the best place to raise a family. I love hiking. I love the people. I mean, the realness and the true friendships that I have here is just amazing. I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Susan Lewis, this is the show of tough names today. Susan Lewis Rosnos, I think is, love you, friend. You're fantastic. I think family members, hey, this is from Cindy Anderson. Hey, Ted and Susan, you guys are the best.
That's my older sister.
Okay, I love it. Give the show a like and a share. Rick Henderson in Richmond is saying you guys are phenomenal. Cindy Nowak has given you props. Stephanie Nixon, Sean O'Malley, Allie Lynn, Jay Berry, Chris and Crozet. We got Tim and Fluvanna. I mean, the show is going viral here. Give it a like, give it a share, no matter where you're watching. What's up, Keeley Kitchens in Georgia? Tammy Hornick. We got people watching in Charlotte, North Carolina right now.
Fantastic. I love it.
I'm going to throw this to you, and let's talk about the Carriage House across from Barracks Road Shopping Center here. I feel like what happened is like the same thing that happened with me. It's like when you go to the University of Virginia and you have restaurants that are so close to grounds, you patronize them and you visit them and you support them. And you've had generations, of UVA students migrate and matriculate through UVA, then touched by your brand. And then they go to Charlotte, North Carolina, like this UVA student that's watching, be like, I remember going to the Carriage House.
That's so great.
I remember going to the Carriage House, like I said, after a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, maybe it was a Wednesday night, Ted. A little tipsy, a little hungover, and then your soups and your food were just so good. What does it mean to you when you have so many folks, or put in perspective the influence of UVA and students and the community going to the Carriage House and how it makes you feel?
Proud. I mean, I feel like from just what you said, you felt a bit comforted by that space.
I did.
And if we offered that to some of the other UVA students that were here away from home, that's really great. I love that.
It made me feel like every time I went in, it made me feel like it was approachable, felt like home. It felt like I could go there. I would ladle the soup myself into a bowl. You had those long tables that we would sit at. I mean, it was just like chill vibe. Mm-hmm. I love the ambiance that you created. Put that in perspective, and I'm going to throw the same question to you, Ted. But you put that in perspective first, about the ambiance, the vibe that you created.
Well, country homey, kind of make do with what we had kind of vibe. We had to make it the best that we could on a smaller budget than maybe some of the bigger restaurants or stores around town may have. So it just kind of evolved into what it became, which was just kind of a gathering place, very casual, come home and eat kind of place.
I love it. I'm going to throw the same question to you, Ted. Before I do, Ray Cadell says, I'm a big fan for a lot of years. Back to the store on Rio Road.
Wow.
I was a big fan. I really, really, really miss Anderson's, Carriage, and Food House. That's from Ray Cadell right there. When you start hearing stuff like this, how does that make you feel?
My parents started this business, Jerry, over 40 years ago at Alamo Square. And to have someone reach out that has been supporting our family for that long, that's just heartfelt. It's an amazing feeling. Thank you so much. We have several supporters, actually, that have followed us since day one. And the support from the community has just been amazing. You know, to go back to the UVA supporting us, we did meal plans for, at one point, 18 fraternities and sororities. We sold...
Mine?
Yes.
Black House Sign.
We did. We did many, and we had such a great rapport. We did their parents' weekend. We did their date functions. We catered most all of their functions. We also sold them all their kegs. We were the cheapest place in town to do kegs.
I remember buying kegs from the Carriage House, like literally going there as a pledge and figuring out, because I ain't the biggest dude, and I'm figuring out how the hell am I going to get this keg in this pickup truck before the brothers make me go do something else. And we figured it out, and you guys would help us. I have like vivid, positive memories of it.
Well, it was a lot of fun, and we had so much support from University of Virginia for so many years. And it was so fun for me to make a delivery and go down Rugby Road on a nice spring day and have people screaming my name and waving to me throughout the whole Rugby Road area. It made me feel famous. It was tons of fun, and we did it for years. So we watched, I met freshmen, dealt with them for 4 years, and then 10 years later, they come back in my store and thank me and to let me know where they are, you know, where they're living, what they're doing, you know, if they're married, they have kids. It's been great. It's been such a neat thing.
Well, how about this? I'm Jerry, UVA, started there in 2000. It's now 2019. It's 19 years later. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that.
I cannot put in perspective, and I feel like I'm not doing it just like justification of like, I went to the Carriage probably like 150 times over a 4-year term at the University of Virginia. And it was like I said, just like, it felt like home. And like we would go there, the guys would come with me, you know, maybe a girlfriend or two would come with me as well. And you guys like created like, it was fairly priced. You know, it was like, talk to me about it. It was just great.
No, we did. We reached out to the community. We tried to have a better product. Everything was made from scratch. We took a lot of pride in what we did. We tried to make it very homey, very comfortable, and we really pushed the family values, you know, keeping them, staying in the community, and it was a great thing. I mean, I got a call, you know, a few months ago from a guy that had graduated several years ago and said, hey, I'm going to be at the Foxfield races. I want to order some kegs. And I laughed, and I said, how long ago did you graduate? Because we haven't sold kegs in 10 years. And he was like, oh, it's been a lot longer than that. But I still got your number, you know, so when I came back to Charlottesville, I could contact you. I mean, how cool is that?
That is so cool. And people, let me tell you what's going on right now. First, Paul Ballou says, hey guys, love you guys, great to see you, love some Andersons. He's giving you some props right now. We have people watching in Tennessee and California, and I will give you their names. Ernest Morris says, Ted, I'm watching you from Nashville right now.
Hey, cool. Ernest.
Hey, Ernest.
Susan Lewis Rosnos, I'm sorry if I'm messing your last name up, Susan. I'm watching in California right now.
Hey, Susan.
Sean O'Malley says, I know these two. I love these two. Chris
Thanks,
Winter
Sean.
is giving you props right now. Give the show a like and a share. Any feed that you are watching, I am happy to relay to him. Bob Shada, when did you switch from Teddy to Ted? Come on, man. Let us know that. Bob Shada wants to know. Give me that answer.
Right after I graduated high school, Bob, I thought it was, it happened before we were living together, but maybe not. Maybe it happened after the fact.
You live with Bob Shada?
I did.
Tell me those stories right there. Bob Shada's one of a kind.
It was a long, long time ago. And
Do we want to know those
That
stories?
was pre-me.
Okay.
That was before me.
That was before Susan.
That's Bob. I'm keeping it between us, bud.
Sarah Hill Buczynski is watching in Crozet right now. What's up, Sarah Hill? Hope you're doing well. Talk to us about, and I'll throw this to you and throw this to you as well, the evolution of Anderson's. Did you say 40, started at 40 years ago?
Over 40 years
Over
ago.
40 years ago. Let's just have a free-flowing conversation. What do you remember with the evolution of the brand?
Well, when Ted and I first started dating, they had 2 stores. They had a small store on Ivy Road next to Tokyo Rose, if that's
Still there. Yeah.
And then a larger store at
Alamo Square.
Alamo Square. And then they moved into a space over by what used to be Kathy's Produce on Carlton Avenue. I mean, they really tried to branch out and be more accessible to more parts of Charlottesville.
And Jerry, before that, my parents started selling seafood out of the back of a truck. And they did that for about 6 years before we moved into the first store at Alamo Square. And that was propped from my grandfather, who had his own seafood business and then left it to an uncle and a cousin who were in Richmond, P.T. Hastings Seafood. And my dad was working for Virginia Power, and we were getting ready to start college. They needed some extra money, and they started out of the back of the truck. 6 years later, we moved into Alamo Square, and it just continued to grow and continued to grow and continued to grow.
This is a family business. My wife and I, my son, my wife is literally watching right now while like keeping our 13-month-old son alive, while balancing the checkbooks, while doing receivables and payables.
I
and
know what
project
she's
management.
doing. She's
You know what that's
superwoman.
like.
Impressive.
Superwoman.
You know what? I want to highlight that right there because, since the birth of my son and since what I've seen Lauren, my wife, do since the birth of my son, I will straight up say it. There is no doubt the world and the entire world, we are lucky to have women. You guys are the superpowers. We do not, as men, have nearly the superpowers that you guys do.
I agree.
For her to be able
Thank
to
you.
do what she is doing, like I have had like a newfound like level of love for her.
Good.
Like she is like,
Just make sure you show it.
I try to. And sometimes I get caught up with like running the business to put, to like support and, like pay the mortgage and put food on the table and everything like that. And I miss things like Trey walking for the first time. That's my son. But like, she is like amazing. Can I ask you about that, of what it's like to be like a mom actively involved with the family business and being an entrepreneur?
Well, I came into it when my children were a little bit older. I was blessed to stay home with them when they were younger. So I was running things at home. But when I came into the business, it was a whole new world for me because I had to figure out how to juggle it all. Luckily, our oldest was driving, so he was able to help a little bit. But definitely probably didn't sleep as many hours, at first, at night. When I was working with Ted and the family initially. But one of the things that I think is really special that we continue to hold on to now is the personal relationships that we tend to strike up with our customers, learning their first names, learning then about their families is really, really cool. And that's something that we even have under our tent right now when we sell our seafood.
It's the coolest.
We've got, a great day every day because our customers are our friends as well.
I love it. Let me relay some of the feedback from everyone. Okay, Anita Forbes, is it Bucci? Anita Forbes, Bucci. Yep. Ted and Susan, I love you both.
We love you, Anita.
We have, let's see. Oh, this is a good one here. Bob Shada says, no behind the scenes stories, Ted Anderson and Moss living together. Please, dear God. That's what Bob Shada says. Allie Bedole Tucker, this is a great one. The Anderson family has been part of our favorite celebrations for literally 30 plus years. I've loved Ed and Jean and are so proud of you for carrying on the tradition. We will follow you anywhere. Put that in perspective for us, Ted. I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that's really heartfelt. And fortunately for us, it's felt by so many people in this community. And later on in the show, we'll talk about kind of recreating Anderson's and doing a 360 and starting from the way my parents did. But Jerry, to go back with you, my amazing mom and dad started this business and talking about strong woman. I mean, my mom is the backbone of our family. She is the strongest, most amazing human being I've ever met. She was the hardest working woman or man I've ever encountered. And she will tell you, women rule the world.
They do.
They rule the world. I love you, Mom.
Let's turn that into a sizzle reel right there, please, Harris Tolber. I mean, that was an amazing sizzle reel. You're getting serious props here. Matthew Paul Sissons, I think I'm getting that. Sissons. Hey, Teddy, longtime listener, first-time caller. A longtime listener, first-time caller. I love that, Matthew. Teddy, your seafood has always been the best in Charlottesville. I'm glad to see you combed your hair today.
I thought about that after I got here. I realized, wow, maybe I should have combed it.
Mary Catherine King missed the hot lunch bar at the Carriage House. The she crab soup, oh my God, freaking delicious. I will attest to that. Mary Catherine King, it was absolutely delicious. Let's talk about what's going on now, the evolution of the business now as you continue to touch the community with your fantastic seafood.
Well, Mary, first of all, we still have that she crab soup. You can come get it anytime. Well, I'll tell you, when we closed down the Carriage House, my parents retired. I had siblings that all kind of went in different directions, and my wife and I decided to take the catering, which is kind of the part that I was in charge of and started, and kind of go with that. And that was going well. It was a little bit slow in the wintertime, so I had suggested that we set a tent up, as my parents did, and just open on was Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. We were just going to try it one time and see how it went. I threw some posts out on Facebook, and somehow or another, other marketing people found it. We showed up, and 29 News was there. The Netflix was there. We had I'm On Magazine there. We had CVille there.
That's awesome.
All doing articles on us. And the community came running. I mean, they came running. That was 4 years ago, and now we are set up year-round over on Ivy Road in the Charlottesville parking lot under a tent, Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. And we've got all of our incredible fresh sushi-grade seafood. We carry up to 12 different types of fish each week. We have fresh Carolina shrimp that we carry each week, cocktail shrimp, spiced shrimp. We have she crab soup, lobster bisque, seafood chowder, homemade crab cakes. By the way, our jumbo lump homemade crab cakes recipe was stolen from the IVN. Sorry, Angelo.
Those are good.
They're awesome. We've got dry sea scallops. We've got steamed crabs, soft shell crabs. We've got the best Rappahannock oysters you'll ever have. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And that's on top of the catering that we still do. We specialize in pig roast, oyster roast, crayfish boils, barbecues. We do it all. We do it all, but that's what we really specialize in. We feel like we do it better than anybody else.
That's, Harris, that's a really important sizzle reel right there that we need to send to them. It's a who, what, when, where, why, the business. Josh Connor, Ted Anderson is awesome, just the absolute man. That's from Josh. We have Laura Fonner, who's the executive chef and soon-to-be owner at Dooner's Restaurant, watching right now. Laura, you know I love you. Great to see you, girl. Give the show a like and a share. Love Dooner's Restaurant. Ava Haar, who's watching. She's the owner of Little Planets.
Hey, Ava.
In the Ix shopping center right now, an entrepreneur. Ian Glomsky is watching. He's the owner of Vitae Spirits. He's kind enough to join us. It's a distillery in town.
Cool.
Give it a like and a share, and we will relay everything to the Andersons here. In fact, let me get, oh my gosh, you guys are well loved. Ricky Dickinson, thank you for watching. Jenquia Taylor, thank you for watching. Vonda Krickenberg, thank you for watching the show. Tom and Liz, man, this is the tough show last name. Gotchanor, thank you for watching. Amy Hutchinson Williams, thank you for watching. Heather Pilar Heslip, thank you for watching the show here. Let me throw this to you, Susan. How, put in perspective, you know, the business today. You're under a tent. You're servicing the community extremely well. People love your seafood. Challenges, trials, tribulations, the whole shebang. Talk to me about that.
Weather.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So we are definitely at the mercy of the elements when we're under that tent. But you know what? The customers come anyway. They come in the rain. They've come in the snow. If we're there, they're still coming. This past Friday, I think it was, we had a really bad rainstorm. Things were flying around in the air. I was watching the sheets of rain come by, and customers were pulling up next to the tent, but they didn't get out of their cars until the rain slowed down because they saw I was also hiding in my vehicle trying to stay dry. But, you know, just to say, as soon as the rain slowed down, we're selling our fish again. We're selling that shrimp they've stuck with us, even though we're not in a brick and mortar right now. Selling out of coolers, and they don't care.
I love it.
They know that it's a fresh product.
Yeah, it's about the product.
It's a fresh
the product
product.
and the people.
Yes.
You know, and that's a testament to you guys. Like you guys, that's a testament to you guys being like freaking rock stars. Eunice Smith watching in Fluvanna County, and I mean that, Ted. Put in perspective the who, what, when, where, why of the Carriage House across from Barracks Road Shopping Center. The traction you built, the popularity you built, the brand you built, and also what happened. You know, I mean.
That's a good question,
yeah.
Jerry. It was in the public eye, so most people do know that we had issues with the building. We had issues with the landlord.
Yeah.
It was not pretty. We spent a lot of time in court. And although the numerous times we were in court, we prevailed, we really, at the end, did not. I mean, mentally and physically, financially, it just drained us. We put so much hard work and time into creating and building and establishing what we felt like was a great aspect of being a local business in Charlottesville. We did have a better product than anybody else. We offered things that no one else in town offered. And after 18 years, the kitchen roof just collapsed. We had been, in contact with landlords saying, look, it's getting worse, it's getting worse, it's getting worse, with no response. And we went in there one morning and it was collapsed, and that was it. That was it. And we decided that it was time to move on. And now, as everybody knows, CVS is moving in.
Give us some insight into the, the emotional feelings at that time.
I'm going to tell you, there was some anger. There was.
I would be so pissed.
I mean,
because you feel like the landlord is supposed to give you help.
I'm going to tell you, in this situation, people came up to me everywhere and either told me their own horror story with her, or just said, "Don't you just wish you knew a hitman?" And I was like, "No, I don't." A person that has done what she did to our family, my parents, who had worked so hard all their lives and took everything from them. All I could think about, she's got to be the most miserable person in the world, and all I ever did was pray for her. Literally, I couldn't hate her. I couldn't feel anger at her when I laid down and went to bed. I prayed that whatever was going on in her head would get better. I couldn't carry that anger around, and that frustration. And watching your parents go through what she put my parents through was horrible.
You are undoubtedly a better and bigger man than I am. Okay, and I mean that sincerely, because you handled it a lot better than I would have handled it. And put in perspective the thoughts, what you were feeling during this time.
There was a lot of fear, because this is our livelihood.
Right.
It wasn't just my in-laws' livelihood, it was our livelihood. And so trying to figure out what we were going to do next was a huge question mark. And so I did lose some sleep over that. Plus, watching Ted having to deal with, the emotional part of the experience too, every day was hard. But we made it.
It knocked me down. It knocked me down. I experienced...
It was a very low time.
A major depression, major anxiety, things that I had never experienced before, things that I didn't appreciate that other people were experiencing.
Until you do it yourself.
And it was really hard. And I had the support of my loving wife, who stood by me and stood by me and stood by me. And little by little, I got back on my feet and pushed and pushed and pushed. And here we are. I mean, doing something I love, feeling good about a product, feeling good about it being a family, it's awesome. Having the most amazing customers ever. Jerry, I can't even verbalize. I mean, when Susan said earlier, we know their names, we know who and their family. The support we get from the community is awesome. We love interacting. I mean, we go out and have wine with them. We, go out to tastings and do wine tastings with some of our customers. They see me on the side of the road when it's hot, and they stop by and they bring me cold water, they bring me Gatorade, they bring me wet rags. In the wintertime, they come by to make sure I'm warm. They come by to see if I need anything to eat. They, if the wind's blowing hard, they come by and hold my tents down. You know, if they see me trying to hold my tent down, they're there. They get out the car. You know, they check on me. I have people that come by in bad weather and say, I don't need anything. I'm actually going out of town this weekend, but I'm so grateful that you're here, especially in this weather. We're going to buy something and stick it in the freezer. That's the kind of support we get from this community. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I love it. And Harris, we're going to work you in here shortly. So have a question ready to go and some commentary, please. We have plenty of time, no rules. We're going long here. The community is responding really, really well. Jessica, and Jessica, I always mess your last name up. Jessica Pure, I'm sorry, Jessica. I know you, and I love you. You work at Junction. You're amazing. Anderson Seafood was and will always be the best. I love this interview. Josh Conor, the whole family is some of the most kind-hearted and genuine people you could ever meet. Definitely rock stars. Love you guys to the moon and back. Gene Hastings Anderson.
Hi, Mom.
Ted, thanks for the remarks. Love you and Susan. This is a fantastic show. Thank you for watching, Gene. Bellamy Brown, who's running for city council, is watching. Rick Spagoni, fellow Phi Kappa Psi, what's up, Rick, is watching right now. I'm going to throw this to them, and then, Harris, you jump in. You know, since I've had, my son's 13 months old, and I've had, like, massive personal change since he was born. And like, it sounds so cliche, but until like you have a child, like, you know, the cliche is real. It's like I just have different perspective on things, like less so about like grinding and like trying to build bricks and brands, and more so about building quality time with my family and doing what's right by my family and legacy. And like talking about legacy, like what's my legacy in the community? I want to be in a community that my son can like grow up in and be a better version of myself and my wife. Like that's all I want for my son, is to be a better version of like my wife and myself. And it's going to be tough with my wife because she's amazing. It's going to be easy for me, for him to be a better version of me. I'm going to throw this to you here. Legacy, the Andersons' legacy. I mean, look at what's happening here with people that are watching. You guys are like, Charlottesville and Andersons go hand in hand. Talk to me about that.
Well, I mean, when I moved here, Andersons was already here. I came to Charlottesville in '91. I met Ted that year, I think, maybe the following year. But so it preceded me, but it's continuing on with me. And my children even grew up in the Anderson Carriage Food House. We would go there every day. Awesome. My daughter's in diapers, the boys are running around, and all of the employees were always, you know, playing with my children. They always loved to go there. Great memories for them. And when the building was coming down a couple months ago, my daughter shed a few tears. She's like, that's part of my childhood. It's gone. And we feel the same way, but we're just going to carry this as long as we can and do the best that we can and keep selling that fresh fish.
I love it. Same question for you.
You know, Jerry, she had a good point. The kids grew up, and they're still, I mean, it's still a family business. I started working with my parents along with my siblings, and all three of my kids have helped out with this business, whether it's the catering part of it, whether it's helping up, setting the seafood up, waiting on the customers. Our daughter has got a following for her baking. She started baking when she was, 12 years old for us?
11.
11.
It's awesome.
She does the most amazing pies. They're unbelievable, and she's got a huge following. I mean, Christmas and Thanksgiving, the pre-orders alone from people who get her stuff every year. So she's kind of creating her own destiny through Anderson's, as I did with the catering. And it's still in the family. It's really cool, and it's really, I love the fact that they're proud of what we offer to this community. I mean, we offer
That's what I want with my family.
Seafood, fresh seafood that you can't get anywhere unless you go to the coast. We offer a product that is unlike anybody else's in Charlottesville. We offer things that no one else offers in Charlottesville. We make it fun. The community backs us up, and it's great to see my three kids so proud of the family business.
I love it. I love it. Harris Tolbert, jump in here. What's on your mind here?
Yeah, Jerry. Really, what I have to say is that when Ted was describing the relationship with your customers, you know, just coming out and supporting you like through literally thick and thin, you know.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Like that. I mean, I had chills when you were describing that. That's incredible. I love that. Also, I love how y'all embody something that, you know, doing this show, I've realized a lot of our guests embody, and like is that just kind of overcoming hardship, like thinking positively, you know, and adapting to change and just making it happen. You know, it's inspirational for me. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Let's relay some of the comments. Great comment right there, Harris Tolber. Herb Porter says, howdy, howdy, Ted.
Hey, Herb.
Matthew Scott Batten says, some of my favorite memories working at the store after school and on our days off. That's from Matthew Scott Batten.
Thank you, Scotty.
Hey, Scotty, you rock, buddy.
He also says, I have known the Andersons for over 10 years, and they have become family. They are some of the strongest individuals that I have ever met. They always kept their faith and supported their family, friends, and the community, even when they were at their low. Truly an incredible family, truly rock stars. A lot of comments that we're going to get to here. This comment is from Alicia Welch. It's been almost 6 years since my wedding. No one could tell you what my dress looked like, but everyone remembers the food from Anderson's Catering.
Thank you,
Ted
Alicia.
he still owes me that sauce
I
recipe.
was waiting for that.
The
I was
Sauce
waiting for
recipe
that.
right there.
Yes.
We have literally people watching outside the studio right now that are enjoying the show. This is unfortunately why we have to lock the door when we're doing the show, because oftentimes
That's
they
so
try to
funny.
come in. People waving to the Andersons outside. Ray says, I moved here 30 plus years ago. Ray Cadell, 30 plus years ago from Virginia Beach. Andersons really helped me not miss the great fresh seafood that was in Virginia Beach that I was so used to at Bob Beach. The real deal, not the Mexican, Indonesian crap. So many places pass off as local. Andersons is authentic, genuine, and is absolutely the freshest in town. Talk to me about
Thanks,
that.
Ray. Well, you know what? I am third generation. My kids will be fourth generation. I have relatives all over the state of Virginia. I had a sister that ran a seafood market. I've got a cousin today that has PT Hastings Seafood. I've got other relatives in other areas. Maybe they've retired, but it's enabled us to get a rapport with crabbers, with the scallop people, with the oyster people. We have a camaraderie that goes back generations. I was born into fresh seafood. That's all I've ever done all my life. And I'm good at it. I love it. And having these connections with the crabbers and getting everything direct and not through any middle people. My suppliers know not to send me anything that's not top of the line. I don't have to send anything back anymore because they know if they send it to me and it's not the absolutely freshest, it's going right back. My customers know that they can come to me and not have to question anything, any products that they get from me. It's a great feeling. It's pretty cool.
Let's thank some of the folks that are watching. Then I'm going to throw this question to both you guys. Free-flowing discussion here. Anyone chime in. What is the next steps? Where are we going to go with the Andersons brand from here? Amy Wicks-Horn, thank you for watching. Jonathan Galasso, Bill Granford, Rob Lawson, Jeremy Stanwyck, thank you for watching. Dan Barnes, Meg Taylor, John Gilmore, thank you for watching. Like and share the stream no matter what page you are watching on. Give it a like, give it a share. Open-ended question. Where are we going to go with the brand?
Well, do you have a crystal ball?
I don't have a crystal ball.
I wish you had a crystal ball.
Me too.
We're really content doing what we're doing right now. We are looking forward to growing each year. We've doubled our business from last year easily, if not more. We tend to double every year, which is really cool. I think we'd like to have brick and mortar. I think we'd like to have a storefront. We're looking into it. Unfortunately, as great as Charlottesville is, the cost of living around here, the prices are insane. We'd like to buy versus rent. We've got some family backing that we're very fortunate to have. So I think that's the next step. But we don't know. We go day to day, and we just kind of wait to see what's out there. Another thing that we love about the community is how many people say, let me look, I'm a realtor, or my friend is a realtor, my family member's a realtor. Let me see what's out there. Let's work together. Let's get you in a place. So we're hoping that will be our next step.
Susan, what are you thinking?
Well, we've peaked at a couple places, but we have not signed any leases or anything like that yet. I don't think the ideal space has opened up for us yet.
No.
I think it's still out there, whether it's an old building or a new building. We don't want anything really big, but we want something with a nice kitchen in the back where we can do our prepared foods and our catering and slice up that gorgeous fish.
Come on, Corn Capshaw.
So
Pull something through. Come through for us.
Big there.
Yeah, okay, so you're going to go for the Class A $50 a square foot rent right there, Ted. Guys, let's put this message out there. Find a good storefront for Andersons.
Oh, that'd be super.
Okay? Whereabouts should it be?
Oh, goodness.
The
That's
perfect location would be where we're located right
Yeah,
now.
in that-
I
in
mean,
that
if we
lot.
could open something in that lot, that would be the most amazing thing.
On 250.
I don't know. Somewhere center of town, so we can, or every side of town can get to us. We don't want anybody to have to go too far. Right now,
Because that was the value. I mean, the value of the Carriage House was the people, the food, the product, the service, the ambiance. It was all type flight. But the location, I mean, the location was amazing.
It was
It
a
was.
central location.
Central locating. You had so many cars drive
Yes.
by. It was so easy to get to. You guys had parking. You had like 5 or 6 different entry points.
Mm-hmm.
You catered to like the folks that are north of town could easily come. The students could easily come.
Right.
The folks that live downtown could easily come. The folks that live down like, the Ivy, western part of town could easily come.
Right.
I mean, it was freaking amazing.
well, Jerry, one of the things that we're very fortunate is the reputation that we have brings people on a regular basis.
That's true.
From Madison, from Fluvanna, from Waynesboro, from Stanton. We have people from Northern Virginia that come in once a month and, we'll get $500 or $600 worth of product to take home, so they have our seafood for every month, So we're very fortunate. So I think no matter where we end up, we have a following that will come to wherever we are.
I think you're absolutely right, and I can certainly tell by the stream. Christy Cormans, we love the Andersons inside and out.
Hey, Christy.
Our Sean Thomas, my boy, he's now working at Wintergreen, formerly the barkeep at Miller's and at Peloton Station. I go there from time to time. He
good.
says, I need to remember to put a cooler in the car. I pass your tent on my way to work all the time. You guys are absolutely amazing. Davina Jackson says, I cannot wait for the crabs. Give me the crabs. Give me the crabs. Give me the crabs.
They're coming, Davina.
Sean Thomas, share the stream. Thank you, Sean, for doing that. Paul Ballou and Phyllis Burkhead sharing the stream right
Aw,
now.
Phyllis.
Thank you kindly for doing this. Literally have people watching in Richmond, outside Philadelphia. We have people watching in Northern Virginia, in Nashville, Tennessee. Jane Riddle, thank you kindly for joining us on the program. Give the show a like and a share. How about, I'm going to throw this to you, okay? When you jump into the storefront game and either you're signing the long-term lease or you're going the mortgage route, I mean, that puts even more pressure and skin in the game.
It does.
And I know that firsthand with what we're trying to do with this building here. Every day I wake up at 4 in the morning, and my wife can attest to this. Not terrified, but like motivated. I guess motivated is a better word. And I'm like, I have to get up today and figure out a way to feed my family, and cover what's going on and help the guys. And it's like an incredible like motivation, but at the same time, it's like incredible like, I would almost say like terrified is a good description there. That's okay. It's a live show.
So sorry.
No problem. That's what makes these shows great here, Ted Anderson. No
Oh,
problem.
man.
No problem. It's okay. It's only happening at a key component of the program. I'm just joking. Right? Let me throw this to you. Put that in perspective for me.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Going in the storefront game.
Oh. Well, yes, there will be a bit more pressure.
City and county, yikes.
What, dealing with them?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
They should be much nicer.
Well, we got City Hall watching right now, so you got to be careful.
But I know that Ted and I have been doing this together now for long enough that we work well together. And we kind of each have our own areas where it's our expertise and our things. He definitely deals with the choosing the fish and getting to know where it comes from and who's caught it out of the water and all that kind of thing. And I'm better with preparing things, foods, recipes, doing the food for the catering, things like that. But if we had a building, I feel like we would be open more days a week than just 3. Not that the catering is roped into those 3 days, but it would just benefit us and the community so much more.
More efficient.
We'd get to expand
Absolutely.
our product, too. There's so many things that I want to bring in, from just basic shrimp salad, crab salad, seafood salad, more soups, more of choices of all of our products that people ask for on a regular basis. That would be really cool to be able to do that.
Harris Tolber, you're jumping in here momentarily. Get ready to jump in. Herb Porter says, I will stop by soon for some alligator and some oysters, Ted. Can't wait to... Alligator?
He gets alligator. We have about 3 different customers that like their alligator. I think Herb probably gets it on a regular basis, where the other ones just kind of every once a year maybe.
Herb, you have an open invitation anytime you want to come on this program. I've said that multiple times. Would love to have you on the show. Herb Porter. Harris Tolber, you ready to lock and load, baby? Give me some commentary. What's on your mind, sir?
I was just wondering what is the number one like soup dish that people go crazy over?
I'm sorry.
Number one soup dish, he says. Number one dish overall. Number one product line.
Yeah.
All right, without a doubt, our wild Scottish salmon. I mean, when we first started out, we were getting 10 pounds, going through 10 pounds a week, 20, 30, 40. This week, I'm bringing in 50 pounds a week. In July, I could be selling as many as 60 pounds of that wild Scottish salmon. It's a product that we first started out with 3 different types of salmon. And once people tried this Scottish salmon, there was no going back. To sell that much product of one product in the short amount of time that we're open is pretty insane. It's pretty crazy. Our dry sea scallops. People don't know what dry sea scallops are. They haven't been processed. They are, if you go to the grocery store, they've been processed. So they shrink up. You got to pour the water out of them. Ours are 20 times sweeter. They don't shrink up. You don't have to pour the water out of them. I don't know. I'm just very proud of what we offer. But that's a great question, and I'm so glad that you said that. We sell lots of everything, but without a doubt, people come for the Scottish salmon. I think now that summer is coming around, steamed crabs are huge. We sell a ton of soft shells and steamed crabs. We do a lot with seasonal items. But the Scottish salmon.
It's a really fun thing to eat socially. When you pull out those crabs and you dump them out on the table.
It's like social.
Right.
It's like it encourages discussion and conversation and people interacting. It's like a fun activity. It gets people off these damn things.
Exactly.
I've got one in my hand right now.
You don't want to touch it because you got crab all over your hands and you're happy.
And a beer in the other hand.
Yeah.
When are we going to do that?
Yeah.
That sounds like
Let's do that this summer. Summer.
How about this question for you? And I learn from the husband and wife entrepreneurs and partners and business people. So my business is 11 years old in May. And my wife and I have been working it and running it together for, let's call it 3 and change. And it's freaking hard. You know, it's like here, there is like, it's a partnership, but there's got to be like someone saying, this is the direction we're going to go. And sometimes I struggle when I head home to like turn that mindset off or like leave what's happening here when I go home and like be a dad as opposed to being like a business owner. And then like some of the times I like take the stresses, and every day as an entrepreneur is like stress. Like I like forget to leave it here.
Right.
Give me some perspective, some insight, firsthand, anything, husband and wife business partner dynamic.
Well,
your phone is blowing up over here. You're a popular dude over here, Ted.
It is something that you have to navigate, and you have to navigate it together. And sometimes, honestly, Ted and I will be sitting on the porch in the evening. We finished selling for the day, and he'll start talking about something having to do with the business. Sometimes you just have to take a break from
and say no.
The business.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will say to him, I don't want to talk about work right now. Let's
sometimes,
talk about something else.
Quite often.
Well, because we live together, we work together. This is our partnership, you know, besides our marriage. And
this is your livelihood.
It's, you know, every minute of the day. So, yes, and it's our livelihood.
And for all you guys out there, we actually work great together. We do. There's no fighting. There's no arguing. There's no, you know, saying you didn't.
The second time you guys are better than me here.
But there is stress. I mean,
there's
not
a lot
to
of
say
stress.
It's easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And you do have to bite your tongue sometimes, and I know he does too.
You're talking about picking the battles?
Yeah.
I struggle with that because I'm like very like OCD and like alpha, and like remember starting it when it was like just me and like life savings, and 7 months in had no customers or clients.
Scared.
And was going to Panagarden buffet with Ziploc bags and was taking food from my plate when folks weren't looking into Ziploc bags. And that was my food for like 3 days, and my dog's food for like 3 days. And then we just started like doing well by one client, and that, like you guys, did well by one customer. That customer told another customer. That customer, the second customer, then told 2 or 3 customers. And then slowly it just started building and building. And now we're 11 years in, and we're trying to keep a kid alive and a family and this going. So where I'm going with this is like I'm trying to learn from you. Like jump in here. Like you guys have been doing it a hell of a lot longer than I have.
You hit it on the nail. I mean, we get new customers every week. We get new customers, and we're told one of two things. Either everywhere I go, I hear people talking about you. I had to come by and check it out. The other thing we hear is I've been going by for years looking at your tent and your sale thinking I am never going to go buy seafood out of a cooler. But yet I see people here all the time. I see how many customers are supporting you, and I had to stop by and check it out. I'm guaranteed to see them on a regular basis. They come in one time. That's all it takes. Awesome. So you're right. It's word of mouth. It's just keeping up with it and just moving forward and not letting the hard times get you down.
Let me ask you about that. I want to learn about that as an entrepreneur, for someone who's done it. Okay, how do you manage like the vulnerability and like the fear and the trials and the tribulations and like the successes and when things aren't so good? Like, how do you manage it?
I go head first. I don't even think about it. I just keep going. Honestly, that was the past. That's when I was restarting and reconnecting, taking the business and starting it all over again. That's where I was back then. I don't have those thoughts or feelings anymore. And if I do, if there's a huge catering event, like we had a gigantic, $40,000 catering event in Northern Virginia, and I wanted it to go perfect. It was the first time in that area. We were going to be introduced to a lot of new clients. And I wanted everything perfect. I wanted everything perfect. And I've done it for years and years, and our events do go perfect, but this was a big one and a new territory. So I was a little bit nervous for it, and I went head first. I didn't give it a second thought. I just went for it, and it went perfect.
I love that answer. Harris Tolbert, we'll get you here momentarily. Get ready to rock and roll. Timothy James Fallis, thank you for watching. Jacqueline Grieger from Barbecue Exchange, the event coordinator over there, is watching right now.
Went
She's
by
the
there
Bob.
yesterday.
We love you guys.
We
love you
guys. Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Love them.
Tell me about what you love about Barbecue Exchange. I love it too.
Oh my gosh, everything. The fried pickles are my daughter and I. We have to have those every time we go. But they've got just amazing barbecue. You don't even need to put sauce on.
It's almost as good as ours.
4 different kinds of sauce.
Laugh out loud.
But another local business that's just rocking it.
Yeah.
And that it's in Little Gordonsville, but everybody knows about it.
I think now Barbecue Exchange, and Jacqueline, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think Barbecue Exchange now, the largest employer in Gordonsville since PBM Paul Manning's outfit has closed down. The largest tax revenue generator in the town of Gordonsville is Barbecue Exchange.
I didn't know that. I believe it. I believe it.
Craig is a friend of ours.
Craig's the man.
Craig set us up for our
He's come on the show.
Our wedding.
Really?
I mean, the day we got married, he was working at
Clifton. He
the
was
Clifton Inn. He was the head chef there.
He was also at Keswick before that.
And totally set us up. That's where we spent the night of our wedding, that we got married. We love Craig, and we have a lot of respect for Craig. He's done amazing things.
Another entrepreneur we love to celebrate. Barbecue Exchange and Jacqueline were our coordinators for our wedding.
Oh, that's super.
And Jacqueline, no BS about this, literally, undoubtedly the best vendor we had on the team. And I love to celebrate and champion locally owned businesses, family-owned businesses like him. Grammy Ward, thank you for watching. I got to throw this back to you about the dynamic with working with your better half. I describe Lauren as my better half, as your better half, your business partner. Put that in perspective. Trials and tribulations, the good and the bad.
I'm telling you, I've already said it. We work amazing together. We are together 7 days a week. We both, as Susan said already, she has her thing, I have my thing. If I need her, she's right there to back me. If she needs me, I'm right there to back her. But it's all good. It's all positive. I mean, you take any given situation, Jerry, and you make the best of it.
Do what you got to do.
And you do what you got to do. And then once you get used to doing that, then it's just not hard. And then anything that's added is just a bonus and a plus. And that's been the case with us.
I love it. Great answer right there. Terry Cadell, thank you for sharing the stream. Harris Tolber, Western Attleboro, and JMU's finest. Jump in here, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I just love y'all's positivity. I love it's like so clear that y'all are so passionate about what you do.
We love you too.
Yeah. So it's been great. But like seafood. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So like seafood was huge for me, and it was like I eventually, unfortunately, developed a shellfish allergy.
Oh no.
But like that's the bane of my existence because like literally I love seafood so much. So like it's that, but like yeah, like I love seafood. So
I'm gonna share something really cool.
Please do.
The dry sea scallops that I was telling you about. I can't tell you how many of my customers have said, "Oh, I got a daughter or I got a husband who's got shellfish allergies," and one of the things they can't eat is these scallops. And so I said, try the scallops. Take the scallops home. They've never been processed. There's no chemicals in them whatsoever. Take a small bite, and I've watched one person after another come back and go, oh my gosh, it's amazing. No breakouts. We now can have scallops again because they're not tasting the ones that are full of chemicals. So come try our sea scallops and see if hopefully the same will happen with you.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'm glad to hear that, man. Because as I said,
it's the product where it comes from. I'm telling you, I have a great friend who has become a friend from being a customer of ours, who can't eat shrimp from Indonesia or China because it's got so much iodine that he breaks out. He comes and he gets my fresh Carolina shrimp that's never been frozen, and it doesn't bother him at all.
That's incredible. I love that. I love hearing that.
That's good commentary right there. I'm going to throw this to both of you guys. How about the evolution of the culinary scene in Charlottesville since you guys have been here? I mean, you talk about a lot of freaking restaurants. I heard a statistic the other day that Charlottesville City Limits has, and this was from Charlottesville Tourism, so this is a pretty legit source. Charlottesville City Limits has more restaurants per capita, third most restaurants per capita in the country. New York City and San Francisco, 1 and 2. Third most per capita. I mean, City Limits is a community of under 50,000 people. And there are restaurants on every corner, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Talk to me about the evolution from what you've seen, and I'll throw it to you as well, of like the restaurant scene in Charlottesville. Since you said you got here in 1991?
91, yes.
So that's like almost 30 years here.
Yeah. Well, we live out in the country now, so it's more difficult for us when we get home from work at night to motivate to go out and try some of these phenomenal restaurants. So I know we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg as far as trying them all. But I got to experience some of the first great chefs that were here just by working for them in their kitchens. And there are so many more that I love to read about in the various publications around town that are coming up from other huge, big food cities, and they're coming to Charlottesville and opening their own places. It just must be a wonderful place to eat.
And I think it's a wonderful place to eat. I think people are so passionate about supporting locally owned businesses like y'all's. I think it also doesn't hurt that there's a lot of wealth in the community and disposable income to spend money on food and to go out to dinner. Your thoughts on this topic?
I agree. I mean, Jerry, when we first met, we couldn't find a restaurant. There were so few to choose from. I mean, literally, we were thinking, well, where can we go this time? And over the years, we've watched it just expand and grow and expand. And we love to support these locally owned restaurants. We love to try new things. And it's so much fun to go into a new restaurant and read the menu. I mean, when we were dating, it was the same thing on everybody's menu. If you went to an Italian place, it was the same menu everywhere. If you went... Now you go out and there's things you've never heard of. There's all kinds of exciting, exotic foods to try and exotic dishes. And I think it's really, really awesome. I
got to ask you guys about the love story. When you guys started getting together, was this guy the Mr. Romance, Mr. Charm?
Actually, yes.
Can you tell me? Can I ask you that question?
You can ask me that question.
For 250,000 people?
Well... We met at a party, a Christmas party, for the employees of the Sienna restaurant.
Awesome.
We were not employees.
No. Was that when was Dave Simpson the owner of that?
Yes.
We love Dave.
Okay.
So I went with a friend who worked there. Ted probably knew everybody that worked there, as he did everyone else in town. He
he's the mayor.
Everybody.
Right. My wife hates that quality of me. Do you hate it?
Well, it's overwhelming because she's standing next to you and you're introducing her to all of these new people.
Right. She's like, this is taking away from like our time together, and we have such little time together.
I got used to it after a few years.
It takes a few. Shit.
My kids are still not used to it. Shit. Dad, can we just go in 7-Eleven?
More years, sweetheart. All right, tell me the story. I want to hear the story. This is going to be good.
Well, so we were at this party. There was another young man I was talking to. I had met Ted, And I had asked my friend about him, and he had asked my friend about me. And they kind of finagled the other young man away so he could get next to me and start talking to me. He asked me out, and we went out to the C&O the next night for dinner.
After the employee party, he went back to the C&O?
That was our first date.
Well, at that time, there was no really other restaurants downtown, right?
There weren't a whole lot.
No.
The Metropolitan was downtown on
Vincent's
the mall.
restaurant?
Yes.
Yes. It's where Bizou is
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
Had the pleasure of working for Tim and Vincent there for a little while. But yeah, we were out on the town all the time.
We fell madly in love pretty quickly. I'll tell you a really cool story. Our
love to hear
second or
this story.
third date was New Year's Eve at the Omni going to see the Dave Matthews Show.
Really?
And after the show...
This is 91?
This was 92.
92?
After the show, I was really trying to impress her, so I took champagne, I took good wine, I took a nice seafood platter. I was trying to be romantic and spoil her rotten. And I yelled to Dave, and I said, "Hey, Dave, I've got shrimp." And he goes, "What room are you in?" And I told him. And he came to our room after his show and spent the whole evening, New Year's Eve, with us, entertaining, because he's not just a songwriter and a singer. He's an entertainer.
Yeah.
He's an entertainer.
He's a performer.
He's a performer, and he entertained us all night long. And I kept looking at him and looking back at Susan and thinking, "Oh, I've got this. I've got this."
That was so good. Was that when Dave, this is a sizzle reel start to finish. Don't finish it yet, Harris Tolbert. This is phenomenal. Was that when he was still a bar back at Miller's?
No.
Okay, so was he bigger now?
He was much bigger. It was not. He had not quite gotten famous.
Was he
But
playing tracks?
Oh, he was selling out everywhere.
Okay.
But he hadn't. I don't think he'd had his first hit yet.
Okay.
It was probably a year or two before that.
Before Under the Table and Dreaming was released.
Yes.
Right before.
It was right before that album was released.
That's
So
one of
he-
my favorite albums of all time.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Keep talking to me about this story. I love this story so much.
No, it was just, it was awesome. It was a great, I knew I had it in the bag. Like I say, I mean, Dave sat there. He put on an amazing show. We danced. We had a blast. He came to the room afterwards and literally entertained us until the sun came up. And then
You guys were partying.
we did.
What? Tell me what
You have
was...
no idea. I can't say it on the air.
I have a good idea. Tell me what was going on and who else was in the room. This is a great freaking story.
There
was
weren't
fun.
a lot of other people in the room. There was your roommate.
His bodyguard was there.
His bodyguard came, Jeff.
Jeff,
And your roommate, Kay,
Kay,
was
Celia.
there. Yeah, it was a very small crowd.
And this is at the Omni Hotel?
very intimate, yes, in Richmond.
This is amazing.
It's very cool.
That is such a cool story. You had New Year's Eve and New Year's Day with Dave.
I was with Dave Matthews the night that he wrote the song that he won his first Grammy for.
What was that song?
I can't remember.
Do you know that song, Harris Tolbert? You're a big... Judah, look up first Grammy Award for Dave Matthews Band,
I
please.
was with him the
What
night
would
he
you say?
wrote that.
What would you say?
Him and Peter wrote it together.
Okay.
Who used to play keyboards.
First Grammy Award, Dave Matthews Band, Judah Wickhart. Judah Wickhart, one of the producers on the show, making that happen. Tell me more about this story.
That's
Susan,
it. I
jump
mean,
in.
Yes,
This
I
story's
was impressed.
amazing.
we fell
I
in
bet you
love.
were.
I was impressed. I had a smile on my face the whole night, the whole day, probably no sleep that night.
We didn't sleep.
The whole day the next day. No, it was just really, really fun. And it was fun to be a part of something else that was growing out of Charlottesville. That
Right.
was new and
Yeah.
big and exciting. Dave Matthews Band.
Right.
It was a weekly adventure we got to experience every Tuesday here at Tracks.
I loved it. You know what? That was before my time. I loved going to Tracks. That was my first and second year. I remember seeing Agents of Good Roots. It was like $4 to get in. And I'm like, what the hell? How can I get in to see this awesome band for $4? And it was like a Tuesday night. Give me and I love these stories, the evolution from what you remember of Dave as a fan in Charlottesville. I mean, from Miller's, from Pink Warehouse.
I literally went to go see Dave at Miller's on a Friday night, and as I was walking in, he was walking out. And I said, "Dave, what are you doing?" He said, "I just quit." And I said, "What do you mean you quit?" He goes, "I'm starting a band, and I'm going to give it 1 year."
Stop it.
And I said, "Dave, you're crazy. Get back in there behind the bar and serve me. No one makes it big in the music business." And we joke about that to this day.
That is the best freaking story
Aren't
ever.
we glad that he didn't
He didn't listen to
Ted?
Ted. Yeah, gosh. He was walking out of Miller's.
He was walking out, he had put his notice in and was walking out of Miller's, and he had invited some people over to come kind of do a jam with him. He wanted to start a band, and I was like, "You're crazy."
When do you remember them starting to take off? When Boyd got in the mix?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. When Boyd got in the mix,
He was a fraternity guy at UVA. And then
so he had his own, the Boyd Tinsley band.
Right,
And
right.
then he joined them, and they actually played twice with him at Tracks, and then they asked him not to come back, and everybody was like, "What?
Yeah.
You know,
So
you
he's
got to
such
bring
a
him
stage
back." And they
presence.
brought him. Yeah, they brought him back, and they took off.
Oh my gosh. Harris Tolber, are you going to jump in here? This guy's a diehard music fan. What are your thoughts on this story right here?
I love that story. I was cracking up when you were telling it. Yeah, I love hearing the story about the lengths that guys will go to, like to impress their future wife. Like, and it reminds me of my dad's story where I don't know. I mean, I won't go down that road, but
He was impressive with your mom.
yeah, he went to some crazy lengths. to try-
Did you, Susan, know right away?
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
But within several months, I think I knew before he did.
Well, I actually, you know how the guys look at each other and go, "Love you, bro. Love
Yeah.
you, bro." And I was going out, she was staying home, and
You dropped the L bomb saying
I-
"love you, bro."
I said, "Love you, see you later." And she ran after. She goes, "What did you say to me?" And I said, "I'll see you later." And she said, "No, before that." And I was like, "Shit." And I was like, "I love you." And I got in my car and I thought to myself, "I'm not going home. That's it." You know, and I couldn't get back fast enough. And that's the point where I realized, oh my gosh, I truly am in love.
I love that answer. I think that's the end of the sizzle reel right there, Harris Tolber. This has been one of the best shows we've ever done. I love everything about this show. Let me throw it with some final. Let me give you a final thought. Anywhere you want to go, program is yours.
You know
You
what?
can do anything you want.
Come out. We're on 2839 Ivy Road. Thursdays 11 to 4, Fridays 11 to 6, Saturdays 11 to 4. If you want the best seafood in all of Charlottesville, come out and see us. Contact us at andersonscatering.com if you want the best seafood. The best catering. Pig roast, oyster roast, crab feast, crawfish boils. We'd love to see you come out and support us.
What are you thinking, Susan?
Come
Anything
see
you
us.
wanna go?
Yes, please come see us under our tent. We'd love to know your first name.
I love it. I love it.
434-465-1247.
And we will make sure we put that information in the package, guys, on ilovecville.com. The entire show will be archived on ilovecville.com. We will also send it to Susan and Ted. We will cut the sizzle reels and send it to Susan and Ted. We will syndicate all the content over a 30 to 45-day period across our entire network, the sizzle reels and the show in totality. Judah, did you get that answer of the Grammy Award? What was it? Oh, you texted me. Thank you. Next time, just scream it out here. So much to say, 1997.
That's right. That's right.
So much to say,
That's
1997. Dave Matthews' first Grammy Award. And had he listened to Ted, maybe does not have a Grammy right now, walking out of Miller's. But you know what? The rest is history.
Yeah, that's right.
You crushed it.
Thank you, Jerry.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love your show. We
Susan.
love your program.
Thank you, Jerry. Enjoyed it so much.
I thoroughly enjoyed
was
it
a lot
as
of
well.
fun.
Thank
It was
you.
a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this. We closed the program the same way. And before we close the program the same way, I want to thank Harris Tolber and Judah Wickower and Lauren Linsky for helping put this program on.
Thank you, guys.
They kill it. I'm truly grateful for them. I close the show the same way, and it's with a 30-second mindset. And the mindset is embodying the golden rule. And I'm not going to make this about religion. I'm going to make this about treating people like you want to be treated yourself. And I think it would have an amazing impact in our community. And Charlottesville needs this now more than ever. Treat others how you want to be treated yourself. And watch how positivity will radiate and just energize Charlottesville and take us to another level and return us to the happiest city in America and return us to the brand and the image and the community that we undoubtedly know that we are. So treat others like you want to be treated yourself and watch how other people follow suit. Please. My name is Jerry Miller. This is the I Love CVille Show. I'm going to be back here tomorrow at 12:30 with Carl Brown. If you saw the Carl Brown interview we did from part 1, I think it was last week or the week before, it was amazing. We are going to undoubtedly put in perspective the African-American community in Charlottesville, how it's evolved from the Vinegar Hill days to 2019, the good, the bad, things that need to change, things that we're doing well. We're going to talk about that with Carl Brown. We're going to talk tough questions and the conversations that are not being had that need to be had, and conversations that are being had since August 11th and 12th. And I think one of the positives we can take from August 11th and August 12th is the conversations and the dialogue are happening and starting in a way that they've never been before. And we're going to try to use this forum to do that. I'm Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show. We'll see you tomorrow at 12:30. Have a good afternoon, guys.
Oh, that was so much fun.
You freaking crushed it, dude.
That was so much
Crushed
fun.
it. You crushed it. We went and you know why I know you crushed it? Because it's in 74, we went 15 minutes long. And we went 75 minutes and it felt like it was like 7 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
You were amazing.
You are amazing. I was sitting here looking at you and listening to you thinking, you need to be like an actor, literally.
You guys made it easy.